What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing and talking about Apex Legends, the best battle royale. What the hell is a battle royale? Hear me out. You start with nothing, right? Bunch of people fly over an island. They all land in the island with nothing, but on the island, guns and medical supplies. And you gotta be the last team standing. That's a battle royale. But what is Apex Legends? What sets it apart? Well, you get to pick characters. The assignment isn't reviewing a game, Vlad. So you had to do something specific. I'm going to review one character. I'm going to go deep dive. I'm going to get down in the nitty gritty of who's that character, Vlad? Who is that? Oh, yeah. It's Loba! Woo! Woo! Let's go! It's Loba! But she's on the hunt. She's trying to cap the MF that capped her parents. She a real one. She be looting shit. She a real stealer 100 emoji. And real reason this video is actually like matters is because after like looking up some lore, like even on the YouTube videos I was watching for lore, people were getting like talking about how dummy thick Loba is and how what is this? Why are people doing this? I mean, for some people it might be like really gross, but like some people, anyone that's been on the internet for a bit, like definitely has seen characters get sexualized before. Like it's common knowledge that any fictional character will get sexualized on the internet. If the sexualization of video game characters is inevitable, why should game developers limit the sexualization and objectification of characters in their games? The problem like begins to be noticeable when the amount of objectification of characters, women specifically, grows in media to the point of normality. Going back to what I was saying, like we see this all the time, like it's normal for characters to get objectified on the internet. So like, what's the problem? Well, the problem is when it does become normal, what is the effect that has on people? And so what does this mean? Like, seeing these characters like Loba being valued for their body parts over their abilities feeds the idea that the value of a character's body can be singled out from the character itself. To clarify, I want to focus primarily on the objectification of female characters and its effect on women. However, that isn't to say that objectification of women in video games also has an effect on men, and also the objectification of men has an effect on men, as it's been proven to have real mental health damage effects on men as well. Show this epic quote right here. Data suggests that men and women both experience pervasive objectification, which often results in body dissatisfaction, shame, eating disorders, and self-objectification. And then here's another quote. Objectification occurs when a woman's body or body parts are singled out and separated from her as a person, and she is viewed primarily as a physical object of male sexual desire. Posits that sexual objectification of female is likely to contribute to mental health problems that disproportionately affect women. For example, eating disorders, depression, and sexual dysfunction. In terms of strict morality on whether or not objectifying fictional characters is okay, there's technically no direct harm in objectifying a fictional character, as they literally exist for the enjoyment of others. So if you want to draw some character in your notebook that's hot, like, you're not hurting anyone. It's up to you. It causes real problems when this objectification is embedded in the subconscious of consumers, especially when considering the audience of many popular games that do create bodacious characters are mostly teens discovering themselves and learning to accept who they are. We can see with the aforementioned highly liked comments valuing Loba's body over her abilities is proof that there is an effect of the normalization of sexual objectification. But it's also these quotes are also feeding the problem for, like, just seeing this all the time. It will make it normal for, like, teens like me and younger kids who are seeing these characters and seeing people online have their opinions objectifying characters be, like, apparently really cool. Like, what's to say, like, this isn't okay for people, right? I mean, people do it for celebrities, and it warps ideas of teens around these types of topics. Ideas such as valuing women for their body alone is measured to cause real mental health problems in communities. So how can game developers avoid objectification of their characters? The most logical answer would be to make sure that these characters do have value beyond their bodies. For example, characters that have non-gameplay goals beyond sex and love, and also having them be powerful in game will make them have more non-body value. And I want to return to the original roster of playable female characters in Apex Legends that were released before Loba, just to talk about how the game developers have put in effort to make sure that these characters aren't solely in the game for sex appeal. Beginning with Lifeline, who, upon discovering her parents were war profiteers, I mean, I'd be pretty pissed too if I found out that my parents were war profiteers. That'd be kind of cringe. She decided she was going to go beast mode, dedicate her life to being a combat medic, and now she plays the Apex games to fund the space equivalent of Doctors Without Borders. Then next up we got Wraith, who anyone who's seen Stranger Things, I would compare to Eleven, but I've also never seen Stranger Things. Basically, she was, like, tested in a lab earlier, and now she's got that classic lab experiment amnesia, and she's in the Apex games because she wants to learn more about her past self that she has no idea about, and how, in terms of gameplay, she bends space and time to fucking demolish her opponents. So she's, like, a beast. And she also hears voices. I mean, like, more than the rest of us, am I right? And all her quotes are super edgy. They're all about, like, you would have seen that coming in an alternate universe. Like, I'm so epic and cool. It's kind of Bangalore, who is this hyper military tactical grind set character. I think best described by these two lines that I'm gonna play.
Real men use iron sights. I use heavy artillery. Clips are what civvies use in their hair. This is called a magazine.
And all her lines are mostly epic military sounding quotes. So yeah. Then lastly we have the Watson, who is this genius electromaniac engineer. She invented the zone for the Apex games, which, like, pushes people together. And so she's, like, got really hyped to drop in, like, flex her dad, but her dad died, and now she's kind of, like, plays in honor of her passed away father. And all of her voice lines are, like, excessively annoying electricity pawns and callbacks to her dad. I mean, we have these characters we have powerful women in the game already, made by the developers. Developers have put in effort to make powerful women that have significant value that completely is unrelated to sex and love. Why are they having a character like Loba be, like, flirty? Like, wouldn't this contradict their initial mission? What if the suppression of female sexuality in hopes of promoting valuing other aspects of women results in promoting guilt behind expressing sexuality?
Style and class have come to the Apex Games, and her name is Loba.
Enough flirting. Save it for when we win.
But don't let looks fool you. Her glamorous appearance is matched only by her lethality.
I'm always dressed to kill. I know what I like, and I know how to get it.
It made me think up the question that I'm going to try to answer in this video is, does sexualizing a character like Loba in Apex Legends support empowerment, or does it support objectification of women? So what is Apex doing by adding Loba, a character who uses her femininity and sexuality to gain power? What is Apex Legends saying by adding this character, despite already having characters who don't do so? They've proven that women can be powerful without using their sexuality and femininity. So by adding Loba, who is using their femininity and sexuality to gain power, they're saying that it's okay for women to do so. And you can still be a badass, and you can still be cool, and you shouldn't be demonized for it. And Yuki talked about that. Going back to the article, another thing that Yuki mentions is that every time woman gains power through sex is portrayed in some sort of media, it's always for evil. It's always an evil thing to present your sexuality. Or it's demonizing female sexuality, and like you can't apparently be sexy without being evil. So that's like a bad stereotype, and I think that is the stereotype Apex Legends is trying to tackle by including Loba, is that just because you are a warrior and a badass does not automatically mean you can't be sexy.